Hey, welcome to my first recording in a while. We're going to be playing with Eldrazi here, a special variant of Eldrazi. We're playing with Bloodscale, Blade of the Blood Chief, Eldrazi. So this is basically taking the good Eldrazi cards, Flashbreaker, Michael Spawns, Not Sears, commands, and all the other good stuff that we can expect in the mana base. But rather than play whatever you want to play in the rest of the slots, so that's either Justice, the One Ring, No Drifters, and whatever else, we play these combo pieces. So for those not that haven't seen this on other channels, or well, mostly in Modern, Baskin Bloodscale is not the strongest Eldrazi. It's 2 mana 2/2 and can adapt for 1 in green. When we do that, it gets a +1/+1 counter, and whenever it gets a +1/+1 counter, we get an Eldrazi spawn. If we equip a Blade of the Blood Chief to the Bloodscale, now whenever a creature dies, we get a +1/+1 counter on the creature this is equipped to. If that's a Bloodscale, we get a new 0/1 spawn. We sack that, we get a new +1/+1 counter and a new spawn, etc. So you get infinite counters on the Bloodscale, infinite colorless mana, and with that you should be able to win. One of the cool things of the legacy version of this deck is that we get Eye of Ugin. Now, Eye of Ugin is of course not the best with a 1 green Eldrazi or with casting Blade of the Blood Chief, but it's still the most powerful land in the deck just because of during Freshraker shenanigans, commands, Myco spawns, if it's paired with Jevimaya, stuff like that. But if we make infinite mana, we also get to activate it. We get to search out one of our Flashrakers. And with Flashraker, we get infinite enter the battlefield triggers from the spawns entering the battlefield, and we can kill our opponent. So if we have infinite mana, it's either Eye of Ugin, looking for Flashraker, or Command, looking for Flashraker, or any combination of that to get us to win with that infinite mana. All this I had of this, since I've been playing it for a bit, also had Walking Ballista in it. Walking Ballista is another way to, well, just kill your opponent if you have infinite mana, but the card's not very good because it just doesn't work with all the Eldrazi lands. What is nice about Walking Ballista, that it's just a good card with Blade of the Blood Chief. You can annihilate entire board states, and you can also trigger the first death trigger for this Bloodscale combo for free by playing a Ballista for 0. So there's something to like there. There's definitely a lot of synergy, but I found that it's better to just play the good Eldrazi cards and then go with this. Now, normally in a painter style deck, you would see 3 or 4 sagas and only 2 of the combo artifacts. One issue I have with that for this deck is this deck is already very vulnerable to Blood Moons. So I went for the, well, let's say the modern version. Let's just play the combo pieces and try to find them. I do have 2 sagas in here. They've been good this far, but I've gotten them battle maged by my Eldrazi opponents. They died to Blood Moons. It's not perfect. One thing that made me have some new interest in this deck is that I found that there's so much non-basic hate now in the form of mostly Blood Moon is the biggest issue, that I wanted to try a list that plays a bit more with basic land. This list has 4 basic forest and a basic wastes. Why do I think that we can do that in this list, but we aren't doing it in other lists? Well, one is this deck can win with a lot less mana than other Eldrazi decks. Basically, if you get Wastelanded down to just 2 mana, just get your Bloodscale Blood Chief combo together and you can still win. The other thing is we need green mana because this adaptability that we have here. If we just have 4 Cavern of Souls in those slots, we cannot activate the adaptability with Cavern of Souls. Pair that with the fact that I haven't really been super sold on Cavern of Souls in the current meta, just because, well, we have a bunch of cast triggers. We don't need everything to resolve. And even if we have Cavern of Souls, people just counter our Coast LLC command. And it's one of our stronger cards. We often need it to resolve, and that catches the force that our other spells have been dodging. So it's still a good card. I have one of them in here now. You might wonder, why do we have a secluded courtyard? Isn't it worse than Cavern of Souls? Well, almost worse. This does pay for the Bloodscale activation. So I have one Besiju because it's another answer to Blood Moon, and it has some other functionality, but I don't want too many because I do want my green mana under Blood Moon. Not the biggest fan of Once Upon a Times in high numbers in most Eldrazi decks, but this deck can actually play it a lot more reliable because we have the Forest and the Javimayas. So I want to try a bit more here. That does mean we have a bit less top end. I'm usually a fan of just playing the full 4 Devourers. I'll record with my Eldrazi list later, with my normal Eldrazi list, but really want to get a league in with the Bloodscale Blood Chief combination. Other than that, what's here about this list? I really love having the Maze of It in the main deck, but because we're playing Urza Sagas, basically, is what makes it so we can't also play Maze of It. This list is already cutting kind of low on the number of colored sources. We have 16 colored sources here, which should be more than enough, but well, these don't pay for the actual colors mana. So that's 12 colored sources, 14 with the sagas. So this is like the bare minimum you want to have early game colorless sources. This means that if you get wastelanded on your ancient tomb or your temple, it might be hard to get to the double colorless for your Coast LLC commands. Because these actually don't pay for that. I mean, they do if you have multiples, but you only have 8 lands that actually play for colorless. So you want a lot of your other lands to pay for colors, so you can combine 2 to actually pay for the command. Because we're playing this many just forests and Javimayas, we're kind of on the edge of not having enough colorless sources. So this is something to keep in mind and also to track when we're playing this deck. Like, is this actually acceptable or not? I've been trying to push it to the higher numbers just by still having a couple of these in there that are both green and colorless sources. But yeah, I want to have the basic forest. I want to have Javimayas. If we conclude that this is an issue or could be an issue, we can always play more courtyards over basic forest or over the Boseiju. So we get, or maybe even over the saga to get a bit more reliance on our colorless sources. But for the rest of the deck, I think it's quite stock. We don't have the challenges because we're running these 1-drops instead. In the sideboard, just removal for the Mages of the Moons, Harbingers of this World, Battle Mages for all the artifact decks. No Battle Mage in the main of this deck, which I normally like to have at least one, but we don't have a lot of blue sources, which means they're quite narrow. Because we have green sources, I'm actually trying out a Runafal and a Steely Resolve. So Runafal, I think it's pretty good against just the frog decks. A lot of versions that are also quite interesting of this effect are sorcery speed, so you can't really get a jumping frog with it. Runafal does get that, so I like this against the frog Atraxa Archon decks. And I have a Steely Resolve here to test. You could play it on Eldrazi, just against a very removal heavy deck. You just protect your combo, protect your Flash Raker, let's say, and you could board it in against a remove heavy deck, but that's not the main purpose of this. The main purpose of Steely Resolve is to board it in against Breakfast. Breakfast is quite a hard matchup for Eldrazi, and putting this on Wizard means that both the Illusionists and Nadus cannot be targeted anymore, so they cannot combo, and we should be able to beat their fair plan. So I'm just trying this out. I've been wanting to play some Steely Resolves for a while with the Nadu and Illusionists being what they are, but most Eldrazi decks and other decks don't really want to pay this mana, but with these green sources, I want to try it out. This has been quite a long intro. I will add that I'm currently trying out a new microphone setup. One of the reasons I haven't been recording for a while is because the previous microphone I had was picking up so much background noise that I had to manually filter it out afterwards. That was a lot of work to do that, which meant that editing videos was quite a lot of work. So between recording them, which was fine to do, and then editing them, putting them back together, and then uploading to YouTube was just slightly more work than I wanted to do for each video. So I hope with this new microphone setup that it gets better. I'm going to work on it. This is of course just the first setup. So this is the first video with the new mic. I'll see how much background noise there is, how the sound is overall. So I'm going to work on that, try and make it better. But that means it's a lot easier for me to record videos and to upload them without having to edit a lot of sound out. Without further ado, let's jump into the league. Hey, welcome to round 1 of this Eldrazi Bloodscale Legacy League. Let's see. We have a turn to Tottenham's here, and if we find a Blade of the Blood Chief, we do have an early combo with the IS payoff. Not too happy with this hand, but maybe this wasteland can do something. I'm going to keep it, but it's not a great one. So because we're not really set up to have an early Bloodscale kill, even if we draw the payoff, but I do want the eye in case we do get there. I'm gonna lead on the temple. Now we could petal because there are quite a number of vaccine bubbles in Legacy at the moment, and we don't actually have another green source. So I normally like keeping them for if we top deck a Flash Raker, but in this case I think running it out is better. Could consider just casting the Bloodscale here, but with this being our only green source, I think I like passing. We can draw something like a Microspawn, in which case it would be really bad for us if we used our petal for that. Alright, we're getting Wasteland, that's fine here. We have quite a lot of lands in hand. We don't have another soul land besides the eye, so that's not the greatest, but here, even though it's a bit awkward into, well, let's think about it. Give my opponent some false hope. So if they have another wasteland, it's way better to start on waste, and next turn we can either play Mike Spawn or Tottenham's here. Yeah, let's do that. There's some higher upside to playing the Ivugan first, because if we draw another soul land or Jeffumai ideally, we get a lot more options. And this basically locks us into using the petal for the Microspawn, but on Goblin. Alright, interesting. Notably in this list, we only have one wasteland, so we cannot Microspawn for a wasteland. That's definitely something to keep in mind. But I think what we're most likely to do is to grab a Jeffumai here. Because we're using the petal right now, I can't really Tottenham's here because that costs me my green source. So with that in mind, I'll just grab the Jeffumai, and that allows us to also play the Bloodscale, which then makes sure that even through removal we have some way to deal with the lackey. No, we can't adapt here. We don't have enough mana for that, so we just pass back and see if they can get their lackey through. If not, we can start ripping their hand apart and getting some attacks in. If their hand is very good, I think we do need to find something that actually gives us a plan, like a Flash Raker or the blade for the Bloodscale. But if their hand is not too good, I think we can do a lot of work with these 2 Thought Seers. Let's see what they have here. A Battlecry Goblin. All right. That's not too scary for us. So now if we don't draw something very interesting, we'll just use the double Thought Seer to rip apart their hand, hopefully. Ooh, but we did draw something. Now, what this means is that we can't really wasteland them. Oh, well, it's kind of interesting. Because we can get a colorless mana from this Bloodscale. So we start by playing the Fleshraker in any case. Now, if you want to wasteland them, which would be ideal, let's see, if we activate this, we get 1. No, that doesn't work. Because we still, if we tap both of these, no. So we can't really wasteland them, but that's fine. Let's just cast this, always yield to the Fleshraker triggers, and see how much damage we can do here. See what they're working with. They are working with a Seer Slicer Goblin, which is a new Goblin from Foundations. At the beginning of the end step, they can make a 1/1 if they attacked, and a Muxus. Well, I'm just gonna take both of them here. If I had only 1 Thought Seer, I would take the Muxus and leave them with the Seer Slicer, since, well, they're not really in a position to attack us. But as is, we'll just take both of them. Take those, leave them with 3 lands, which also means we don't really need to be wastelanding them. Though I probably still would. Yeah, I don't see them attacking back, and I'm actually fine with them trading for this. Do I want them to trade their Battlecry for the Bloodscale? No, next turn it's bigger, and it isn't just a win condition if I draw a blade. Not that we don't win if we draw that anyway, since it's kind of interesting with the blade. You can make quite a big Fleshraker with it, for example, by just sacrificing the spawns. But yeah, all right, that went well for us. The question now is, how much hate do they have in their sideboard? Like, how many moon effects do they have? Which is kind of the card I'm afraid of. I probably want Battle Mages both as an answer to moons, but also to Ether Vials, since them getting an Ether Vial line while we're fighting over mana sources is definitely a way they can win. I don't think Pitting Needle is good enough. Yes, it answers Ether Vial and can hit some of the activated creatures, but it's not too important. I'm also not sure about this member here. Let's see what we can take out. I definitely don't need the Vaccine Bubble, I think. And Once Upon a Time typically gets worse post board, because we're bringing in cards that we cannot find with it. But in this case, that's not really the case. I think I do like this combo against them. They can really go over the top, and this is a way to just win the game even if they have a good draw. So I think I will shave a bit on a once, which is just generally not the best card. And yeah, that means we're probably not bringing in the Dismembers. I can shave on the blade, that's fine here. Then the question is, do we want the Maze of It as well? It's like a turn 1 play that might stop a Lackey, but it's also something we can search out. But if we're searching it out with the Mike Spawn, we already have a blocker. And no, I think I'm fine with this. Not too sure about this. I actually haven't played against a lot of Goblins recently. A while ago, I would have boarded in a I would have bought it in Graphic Cage when they were on like a 4 Moxes just all in deck. But these days they're a lot more fair, just trying to grind out the game. Let's see. We have a Saga which could get the Blade of the Blood Chief, but we already have that. They could find a green source, but this hand is still kind of slow. I think I'm mulligan this. I think I like this better. It doesn't have acceleration to get an early command off, which is kind of an issue. Like if we were looking at turn 1 Lackey, that this can be too bad. But otherwise, it's quite a useful hand. Now the question is, do we want the Saga or the Once, or do we get rid of an Ancient Tomb? We kind of want to use Once to get a good land for us, since we already have three of our best Eldrazi spells. Though if we keep Saga, that does mean we have the out for the combo. I think I'm fine getting rid of one of the Ancient Tombs here, because it's just so dangerous to have two in your hand. I like having two if they're on a wasteland plan, but I think it's better to just see what we draw here. Now, before I do anything else, before I decide on my land drop, let's just once. The Devourer is definitely too slow here. So do we want a Temple or showing Michael Spawn? I think a Temple is just way safer here. There's a Saga here, hope for a early Bloodscale, but I think as is with the cards we have, I should just lead on Temple. I'd rather have Ancient Tomb get wastelanded, so there's some argument to leading on Tomb. But yeah, if you lead on Ancient Tomb, you're basically locking yourself in to take 8 damage if they don't wasteland it, or maybe 10. So I'd rather delay it as long as I can. Now they didn't have a Lackey, which tells something about their hand, I guess. So either they're wasteland heavy, or they have something like a Blood Moon or something, or stuff like that to work with. And now this is interesting. We could just run out a Flash Raker here, basically taunting them to have removal. Or we try and keep the pedal to accelerate out after our Flash Raker. That means we could also keep our Tomb in hand for a turn. So I think I like doing that, especially now that we have a second green source. We don't need to protect the cavern for Microspawn. Let's see what their plan is. I'm expecting a lot of land hate with them not doing anything on turn 1. They must have a plan. If it's just Sear Slicer, oh, Flute. All right. That's interesting. So they're gonna name Flash Raker or Microspawn. All right, that makes sense. Weird, I'm just blowing up their land before they can do anything. Well, hopefully we can power out this double command Flash Raker and still get the Microspawn online in time. For now, though, let's just get the Flash Raker and get our reward with the petal. Now, of course, what we just hope to have happen here is that we get to untap with our lands and the Flash Raker and draw an Ivugin, then we win, but that's unlikely. I expect them to have some sort of good interaction. A Sting Scourger. Well, that sounds like they don't really have good things to do, but it makes sense to bounce it here if you don't have another option. Yeah. She can really make me untap with this. Now they probably also have a wasteland or something. No, they're not. Okay, interesting. Yeah, Soul Land would have been amazing there. Now I think we're just running back to Flash Raker. Split Earth Saga. It's interesting. They kept a very weak hand. Actually, makes it more likely that they have something like a Blood Moon and just missing the third land drop now. But I don't think I have great ways to play around that. I think my best way to play around that is to just cast my spells. There's a thought here that if we put them on Blood Moon, it's better to keep the spawn around than the petal, but the petal also allows us to cast micro spawn to get the basic waste if we want to get our commands online, so I think I'm fine with that. So I'm still sacrificing this one. Dealing damage and just passing the turn back. Oh, back in the same position as last turn. Hope they don't mess us up. I think our Blood Moon would be one of their best plays here, but we can win through that from this position if that's all they're doing. They really need to do something good here because we are definitely set up to run away with this one. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana next turn. So if they don't cut us off, we can just hardcast a micro spawn if you want, and that's basically game over. So that's not a Blood Moon. That's a Goblin Matron. I think that means we just win the game here, but let's see what happens. They could, of course, Fury or Pyrokinesis us here, which probably means we can still cast a micro spawn and are in a good position, but at least we lose both of these. Well, not both of them. Yeah, I can adapt at instant speed. If they try to Fury this. Alright, there's a Slingin Lieutenant. And I'm guessing this is just over now. So we need to green from this. We're not going to be spending mana on tokens. Well, actually, we don't need to green for that. We probably will use it for that anyway. But green, colors, and we'll just choose this one. Another one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, right. They had this micro spawn. I'm a dingus, as some would say. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm actually one short now. Right? Yeah, one short to kick it. Do I just not kick it? Let's see, what do I do then? Then it's still 7 mana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I get an eye. Get a new spawn. I did already play a land. That's not ideal now, right? Yeah, I played Ancient too. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I guess 7 with the petal. I have 2 spawns. I get I rattle off some commands, try to kill them. Let's see, that's I spawn for 2. So they're Ascension 12. I usually when I'm in doubt, it's just lethal. So wait, this is just lethal. I'm really making this way harder than I should. It's just, we just do this and it's all good and stuff and dandy and fine and all those other words. Because if we double command here, this is just lethal. I'm pretty sure. If you're screaming at your screen right now, I'm sorry. This is what happens when you're doing this. Yeah, we get 2 flesh rakers on top. So, yeah. I'm sorry for those that were screaming at their screen. But this is what we call hella lethal. Yeah. Our opponent's gonna be so annoyed that we that we took so long to do this. But yeah, sorry opponent. I did not mean to bullshit you. Or to BM you, I guess. But yeah. Alright. We didn't really do the Bloodscale thing, but we did the Eldrazi thing, and I think that also counts. A Flash Raker and a command. Yeah, I think that works. Alright, get you in the next round. Ooh, we're on the play again in the second round, and ooh, double Once Upon a Time. It's not great, but it's hard to pass up Jeremiah and I. So I'm gonna keep it. I really hate this second Once Upon a Time, but it would be a great hand if we mulliganed to 6. Alright. I'm just gonna once before doing anything just to see if we get some more information about what land we want to play. I'm guessing there's not much here. So we have 4, 5 mana. Maximum can get us another, but I probably want to wasteland with that. I think I'm just gonna go for Saga. Though, if our eye gets messed up, we don't actually have colorless mana for Coast LLC command, so I'm gonna go for the Temple. And now I'll start on the Jeremiah, since it allows us to have the turn 2 microspawn. If it gets wasted, I think that's less bad for us than if our eye gets wasted. Alright, Windswept Heat. So is this about Nadu, or are we playing some kind of true green-white deck? There's actually not a lot of Windswept Heat decks in the meta right now. So let's see what we're facing here. Alright, Windswept Heat into Savannah. See, exploration, so we're playing against lands. Yeah, not much we can do here. Most diamond, alright. Looks like it's gonna be a rough one for us. Saga. Alright, at least it's not a wasteland, so I guess there's some sort of a chance here. Now just alone to get these back, I guess. Yeah. So wastelanding them definitely isn't the right way to go here. Ooh, that's not great. The Ancient Tomb we kind of got our temple for. I do think we just have to cast this and probably get another temple so we can get our command online and see what we can do with that. We could get a wasteland to prevent them from making tokens. But I think that's just a losing battle. Good Saga. If they don't find a wasteland, Saga allows us to have the combo out. Since then, if we get a... Yeah, maybe that's it. Because it does allow us to work towards a combo. Yeah, let's get our own Saga. I think that makes some sense. It's not great here immediately because we don't get to command. But we have once to dig for a Bloodscale, and this can get us the blade, so we can maybe combo our opponent. We're not going to win the long game here. Ooh, we're also not going to win the short game, but at least we have the Coast LLC command. That does certainly help us. So they go for the combo. We get to command that. They can loam it back next turn, so we really have to try and close the game before. Ooh, they actually boot us out of the game. Alright, if we've gotten the tempo here, we had an out. It actually would have been quite good for us, but yeah. Did not expect them to go that fast. So lands with boots. I definitely want to battle mages, just hits them on a lot of different angles. I think I want the Maze of it. I normally have a Caracas in my sideboard of typical Eldrazi lists. which is better against them, but I think most of it still works just fine. We could run a file, but that's very, very narrow. So let's see. I definitely want to keep all the commands. Seer is not great against them, since we're mostly just scared of their lands, and if they have the loam, it's usually in the graveyard. Don't think we need Vaccine Bow, but it stops their Mox Diamond, but that's about it. If we don't want these, we have one more card we can bring in. We could bring in some Graveyard Hate or Pitting Needle. It's probably fine to have a needle in the deck, especially since we have the sagas and can find it at the right moment. Yeah, I think I like it like this. You can fight a graveyard with them, but I don't think longer games are a winning angle, even if we have Graveyard Hate, so I'd rather not. How about triple Blade of the Blood Chief? We do have the Broodscale with it, so this is turn 2, Broodscale, turn 3, equip, turn 4, try to attack with a Broodscale. Yeah, we needed one of these to be like an ancient tube or something. I don't think we can keep this. There's just too many of them. And this we certainly keep. The question is, do we get rid of the maze probably, or Devourer? I think we get rid of the maze. We show him the Devourer, and before we Devour, we once. So we get a full selection. Do a second Flesh Raker or a Broodscale. Didn't hit any land, so we have to assume we hit a soul land with Devourer. Yeah, I think I still have to Broodscale here. Second Flesh Raker is very strong. Yeah, let's just go for that. And here we have to just take whatever land we see. And because we put a temple on top, we can just start on a forest. So it allows us to build half the Battle Mage next turn if we need it, but otherwise just cast a Flesh Raker and have a basic in play this for the moment. So I'm not expecting much from this Devourer, but if their hand's not too great, we can maybe get something going with these Battle Mages and Flesh Rakers. Yeah, Exploration. This is the card we just don't want to see on turn 1. So them having a Jeffmai is actually good for us. Makes a bunch of our draws better. I think we just have to get rid of the Exploration. That card is... Even though their hand doesn't look to have great lands in it, I do still want to get rid of the Exploration. There's a good chance they're sandbagging some wastelands, I guess, if they're leading on maze. Stage. Maybe they were sandbagging stage depths. Blade. Okay, now of course I wish I didn't select the second Flesh Raker, but let's start with an attack. And then we just a Flesh Raker plus Blade. To at least get our token out of it. Flesh Raker on Eldrazi and cast a Blade. Get our triggers. And I hope we're not dead. Off note, we didn't get Mace Vid. So they probably have a crop rotation. We are dead. But not really anything we can do about it with this hand. I'm actually usually not afraid of their... not too afraid of their early 2020s, since we have a bunch of outs. But yeah, with Jeff Maya and the crop rotation, they just get it here. Oh, that was very unexciting. Well, for us. But yeah, I think we just have to go for it here. And if they have it, they have it. All right, that was a short one. Let's go to the next round. Welcome to round 3. Looks like we're on the draw. Not the greatest hand here. There's a turn 1 Tottles here if we want it, but that's about it. No, think this is too low on gas. Wow, the double forest really coming to bite us here. No colorless mana for any of this. We do have a micro spawn and a blade. This is close. This would easily be a mulligan on 7, but on 6 maybe we can do something with this. I'll go down to 5. I think it's too bad. And then we'll have to keep this. Definitely getting rid of one of the onces. And the question is, do we have to go for the combo? Because we're so low on mana, maybe we have to. I think in any case, we kind of need to hit a soul land. But the question then is, do we get rid of the land or the petal? I think I get rid of the petal since it's just something else that costs us resources. I'll show the Devourer. And then before the Devourer trigger resolves, maybe we once. On the draw, it doesn't matter too much what you do first, because you get drawn between. On the play, you always have to once before the Devourer. Let's not reset it. Alright, that's fine. You kind of want to find both a command and a soul land now, so you can kill this for free and not get too far behind. I think I do want to once first here. It doesn't really matter if we do it on our turn or not. So now the question is, do we go for the Bloodscale to set up the combo? Or do we get our mana under us? So we could go for Ancient Tomb to hope and spike a command with the Devourer, or we go for Bloodscale and just try to have the win early. I think I like going for the Bloodscale here just because we already have this blade. It's a much more vulnerable to stuff, but and then here I would love to go for Micro Spawn, but I think we have to grab a land just in case we get wastelanded. That's close. Maybe it is just Micro Spawn to have something to do when our plan doesn't work. Alright, let's do it like this. And then we'll just open on a blade and pass the turn. I mean, I do think we're going for a very narrow plan here, but because we have already mulliganed a bunch and are on the back foot, I like going in a bit on it. So our opponent went to 6 if I'm correct. Yeah, they went to 6, I went to 5. So we're not too far beyond on that count, but this at least gives them, maybe incentivizes them to keep up white mana, because they know we have the Bloodscale. And then if we find something like a soul land, we can go for Micro Spawn first before moving in on this. This does cost a lot of mana to actually go for the directly for, well, the combo. In this case, it would mostly result in casting the Devourer and then going for the win with the Micro Spawn when we have a green mana. Alright, that does put pressure on us. And the Safekeeper. Alright. If they do have... Well, basically, we just have to hope that they don't have a Nadu and don't have a Plow. That's our only out here. But because we don't have mana for the Micro Spawn, we just have to go for this and hope we draw land. But if they just Plow this here, we might be in big trouble. Drawing the second Devourer certainly isn't great since we only have 2 in the deck. Right, they didn't bottom, they didn't put it in the graveyard, right? So I'm expecting us to be in trouble. If this is a Zenith, they might not easily have the mana to plow. So we might actually, if we draw a land, we might actually win through their Nadu combo. Just going to F6 here. Ooh, them hitting white mana is definitely an issue since our out here is them not having a plow. Okay, second white mana. Them not having a plow and us finding a land. That's basically our out here. Brainstorm. More hits for plow. So this is 5. We have 3 more before they have to start playing stuff. And they have a lot of cantrips to find more creatures or find a plow. And a lot of mana. I have to imagine they find either more creatures or removal here. They did shuffle. So you're saying there's a chance. Another brainstorm. And a force of will. And they get to see 10 more cards in our turn. Since they have enough mana open, it doesn't really matter. They can see so much of their deck. But alright, fetching some lands. They do need to get white here. They might not be able to get white with that. No. Alright. Now they don't have white mana. But they get to put lands into play next turn, but their fetches, there's probably a bunch of fetches that don't get white anymore with the Savannah already being here. And they have 1, 2, 3, 4 white lands. Or they might actually not have untapped white anymore in their entire deck. Huh. Yeah, the one of Caracas they probably run. So they'd have to spike the Caracas if they want to plow. Of course, we still have to find a way to win since we need more mana for this. And also, get the way to win. But I think we manage. If we find a soul land, I think we definitely get there. All right. 2 more flips for Leovold. And the plow. All right, there's the plow finally. We need a soul land. If we do, I think we're in good shape. That is not it. That does allow us to start going off. The problem with this is that we have to tap out to get the combo going, which means that we don't have a green mana to Myco spawn. Is there a way around that? I don't think there is. We could attack with the Basking Broodscale, having 2 mana untapped, threatening to make it infinite, so they have to block. And if they block it in a way that one of the creatures dies, then we trigger it while having all our mana up. So that will mean we do this here. We play the second Javimaya, keep the new one. Now we threaten to make it infinitely large. That does mean we can only devour post-combat. But I think that's what we have to do, since we have to threaten to kill them. Now, I do know that they have force, but this does allow us to do a bunch more things. So they get more removal. Oh, there's a land that can hopefully not find a white. That's kind of what I'm hoping here. Always yes, always yield to that. Then in our second main phase, let's start making a bunch of mana. Okay, can they get a white? Only a tapped white. Alright, so they did have another white, but not an untapped one. So as I expected, it's probably just a Caracas left for them to flip here. So that's what they're gonna do here. They're gonna try and hit the Caracas. And I would love to be able to bait them into countering something. They'll protect it anyway, but that's fine. Let's see if they allow me to get the 6/6 body into play. Ooh, there's the Caracas. Them hitting the Caracas is kind of an issue here. Well, as long as they allow me to do this, I can at least do the rest of my things. But so now I'll do this until I have a bunch of mana. Since they do just have a plow up, and I think they are keeping that to try and kill a Flesh Raker. That's what I would expect now. But I will make enough mana, then Micro spawn, killing their Caracas. And hope that prompts them to do something. Now, this is one of the few spots where I wished I had a Walking Blast in my deck. I get the Walking Blast since it's not relevant often enough, but now I could, by making enough mana, go for the win. So before anything else, I'll exile their Caracas. They did not float mana. I'm very intrigued by this. I guess they can just force my my Flesh Raker anyway, but this does require them to do that. I could make a bunch of so Micro spawn and blow up a bunch of their lands. Let's do this first. Let's go for that one. So I think I should actually micro spawn here. Is there anything else I can do? I can make another infinitely large brute scale. It's installation, but yeah, no, that cost me the win. So let's make a bunch of mana, get an UI. And now get rid of the Bayou. So they can cast at Leovold. Now I get this forced. I probably still die, but oh well. I did things. I don't think it was good enough, but I did things. And stuff. Yeah. That's that. This is Bill, I guess. Oh, first the new Nadu. All right. Let's see. So they're gonna attack me with the giant Nadu is of course the plan, but I'll just F6 again. I've already used enough time here. And let's just see how they do it. All right. There's a big beater potentially. I'm gonna flip a bunch of stuff. I guess I will now have to find another brute scale and have them not force it. Unlikely, of course, since now they're really drawing their entire deck. But I wonder how many lands they have left in their deck. It can't be that many, but it's probably a couple of fetch lands to get counters going with Bill. Once. Yeah, I will cast it, but he did find a land. There's the rest of their plows. A new Oyvugin. Oh, definitely not what I was looking for. And now if I attack, they can just redirect the damage from the nomads to these two. And these can't really attack. And they even just plow one of them. Right. Yeah, I don't think I have attacks here. So I'll just pass the turn. Now let them do their thing. Yeah, in this case, that combo was definitely better than mine. Mostly because they can just force my payoff. Alright, so they're gonna make this into a 7/7. And start attacking me from 32. So they just have counters on Nadu now, so bidding isn't too impactful. Yeah, just attack. Sure. They still have, they have one plow left, I believe. Getting rid of a ponder. All right. Well, that's not super useful here. Could have used it earlier, of course, but I'm only running one or two. Let's equip that there just for formality. And pass it there. I'm not 100% out of it, but I need like runner now to have an impact. All right, additional counter on the Nadu. Yeah. So to do that again. Goes to 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So they can easily activate this 2 more times. Yeah. Once more for an 11. With this having trample, I don't really have good blocks. So I don't know that they have a force in their hand now, so I'm just gonna see if I top deck a Bloodscale, and if they don't have the right answers, I might still win, though it's very unlikely. Especially with this plow. I don't know what my real outs are, but... Microspawn. What does Microspawn do? I don't have the Maze of It in my main board, else I could maybe survive for another turn. No, this is it. Alright. That wasn't great. Alright, so CD Resolve, Gravedigger's Cage are 2 cards I could consider, and the Dismembers. I don't think they have enough targets for Battle Mage to make it in. Run afoul only hits the Nadu. It does do it without having them draw a card. I'm not a fan of Maze of It here. Since, well, if they have good creatures going on, I'm probably losing to other stuff than just attacks. Like here, they attack me down, but they have so much stuff going that doesn't really matter. The question here is, what don't I want? I do think I like trying to combo them out. I don't think Vexing Bubble is needed. And I usually board out all my Todmonsters because they just have plenty of plows and they're not necessarily great against them. Wasteland is fine, just need it as a target. Do I want to cut a land? I don't think so. Maybe because I'm on the play, I'll go down on 1 Devourer and try it like this. I would like to play first. And I would like to keep this. Definitely happy with starting on 7 rather than 5. Let's just see if Just changes our plans. The Bloodscale or wastes. I don't really need to waste here, even so I'll just go for the Bloodscale, and I'll lead on the temple and the cage. Just shutting off all their Zeniths and potentially the one of Euro if they have it, but not assuming that's the case. We saw most of their deck, including the Leovold and stuff. Let's just hope we can get ahead of them here. Mike Spawn, not too bad, but we do need to find land to do that. So let's just start with the Flesh Raker and see if they have removal for it. If they don't, great for us. If they do, well, fine. We still have a bunch of other stuff to do, especially if we draw land. This looks like it's dying. Yeah. They don't play. Oh, they do play a Wanderer. Okay. I'm happy commanding that. I'm especially happy commanding that. I'll draw a card and kill it, since I want to find a land drop. No, I don't think I want it here. I do want that. And then pass the turn. If they Nadu here, I'll just use my mana and dismember it. So I can then tap out for a Mike Spawn, hopefully kick next turn. There is the arrow that is stopped by our cage, that's kind of nice. If they at some point get rid of our cage, maybe if we have mana open we can command it, but that's not the main plan. Alright, and what's this? Savannah, do they have another core? No, it's a safekeeper. Alright. That's not bad. Maybe I should have dismembered at the end of the last turn. Let's see here. I kind of want them to sack a land to the safekeeper before I Mike Spawn. But I don't have enough mana to do both unless I use Dismember. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, I only have 6 mana, so I can't really Dismember first. So that means they'll get to untap with Safekeeper, but that's not the worst. I'll get rid of... Okay, they've seen enough. I was thinking there, like, do I just get them off both blue? I think I do. Now, do we want to devour on the draw? The selection there is a bit better. Now that we're on the draw, could see shaving a blade, since we do have there's a sagas going on. And we're probably not racing them with it. I think I like a bit more selection on the draw now. Okay, let's do it like this. Alternatively, I could see trimming an eye, for example, but well, Jeremiah Eye is always good to see. We have some selection with the Devourer. We have our combo if we get to that. So yeah, this is a keep. We'll show them the Devourer and go from here. Okay, likely having up Consign or Plow. I'm guessing Consign. This is interesting. The commands are kind of useless if we don't grab the temple here. But them starting on Tundra Pass really makes me want to wasteland them. Since that's, I think that's a sign of weakness. And we have the ones to find something else, so that's just gonna be my plan. They do have to brainstorm to try and find a better play for next turn. And since we don't really have options, I'll just keep the ones for next turn. Just have to remind myself to cast it before I play my blade. Alright, land go again. Still putting him on, having the consign. Okay, this means I will open up an eye before Jeremiah probably, but let's see if this changes anything. I do really like the mana from Ancient Tomb, but assuming they have a lot of interaction up with the way they're playing, I will probably have to go with the basking. Let's think here. So next turn we have Jeremiah and I. We don't have colorless mana for Fleshraker yet. Is Fleshraker more important than the Bloodscale? Yeah, I think just having more life draws in my deck is important. And I'll actually start on the Jeremiah here, I think. It's not ideal, but this does allow me to use my mana here. Does allow them to use their mana and consign if they want, but I don't think that's the fight they want to take. They might disagree. Yeah, that's fine with me. I'm not too worried about that. Of course, I do have the combo in my hand, so I would like it to be in play, but I'm expecting them to have a lot more one-man interaction. Ooh, third Eye of Ugin is kind of painful here. I'll just do it like this. Oh wait, I only need one. With them countering my blade, I'm fine with them killing or countering my Bloodscale. Definitely good for them to have Brainstorm here. And I'll just pass. Let's see if this is getting a plow immediately, if they're just going for Seville. Yeah. I'm not really feeling this game now. The third eye, drawing the third eye is kind of rough, especially after selecting Ancient Tomb, rather than more Baskin Brute Scales or stuff like that. We're still a land drop away from getting to Devour, though you can cash in the second Eye of Ugin in 2 turns to cast it, but not the best. Would have loved, of course, love to draw micro spawns, but that's almost always the case. Yeah, just totally fine. And micro spawn, no. Second Ancient Tomb, not really what we were looking for. I will run out this Fleshraker. If they have a consign, they have a consign. That's fine. They're gonna trade that anyway, and now at least it doesn't counter something that has a cast trigger, and will trade for plow anyway. All right. Hope they just step out for something that's not too impactful. We can devour it. They will get some card advantage if this is just a Nadu here. So this is 1, 4, 5, 6, 7. So let's just do it like that. Get the Saga out there and get rid of that Nadu. So they go up to 3 cards now, which it's Zenith. We might be in trouble here, especially if they do have the Zenithable, what's it, that makes everything into lands that give all colors of mana in the deck. That will definitely make it hard on us, since it's all colors of mana except for colorless. That would kill my Saga, so I'm not too big of a fan of that card. At least I don't think it's very good, but if they have it here, it would be very good for them. So just go for Zenith for 2. Trying to get a 7/7 body in front of my 6/6 maybe. Is that the plan? That's the plan. All right. I don't mind that too much. Don't mind that too much either. Like, yeah, I could beat down, but beating down wasn't really my main plan. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 if I play Tomb here with regards to eye mana. Right. But I do like baiting them maybe into some non-basic hate. And everything taps for green anyway, so I'll just run out this one. And since I can't really block the Kenai if they have mana up, I'll just attack here. At least try to raise it. And I didn't miscount it, right? No, this is just 6 mana. Alright, let's pass the turn and let's hope to draw something other than land. Yeah. So if they sink some mana into that, they can definitely take the race. If they have any other creature, I mean, this gets jump blocked very easily, so I'm definitely never winning the race. But they have the choice to go in on that. This is another Zenith. Another Zenith for 2. Yeah, that's fine, I believe. Alright, just getting Bill. Not attacking. Let's create an artifact token, and now it gets interesting since I can either search or not. Or the foul. It's meant to kill Nadu and only Nadu, but here it can take out the bird, I guess. So now, do I want to search or make constructs? I guess my better bet is to at least get the value out of this. So I will do that. Yeah, that's fine. Search. I think we're just getting a blade here. We could get Cage. What does Cage do? If they get another Zenith, like a third one, it shuts it down. If they find their arrow, it's good. With Blade, any traits we get in combat are good for me, and I get a counter from killing the bird. So I can make this into a 7/7. Yeah, I think that allows me to win a race, and it makes it such that I have more just useful top decks. Yeah. Do think before anything else, I just do this and see if they have any responses. So I have the option here to basically suicide this construct token. But no, if I could attack with both, maybe that's worth it, but don't think now we do that. Oh, I should have re-equipped this blade onto a construct token before combat, so I get an additional counter on it. That was definitely a mistake. So I could have had a 4/4 construct if they trade here with Kenai. Oh well, you live, you learn, I guess. Alright, taking out my run foul for good measure. Always yield to the blade triggers. And in my second main, we'll now put this on there, which I should have done earlier, but let's hope we don't get punished for that too bad. This does mean if they have a single land drop, I cannot attack into the Bristly Bill. Well, I could attack with a 4/4 if I had one, so that's kind of rough. Oh, they did have another Zenith. That's not ideal, since now if they have a land, they can do their thing. This is not a fetch land. It's a plow. Oh, they tapped out a white for no reason. Well, maybe they thought, yeah, maybe keeping up blue and green is better. But they knew they had a Bayou in hand, so they knew they had green. Yeah. All right. I hate giving them a land, but I think I have to do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is only 7 when I now, and then I don't have any mana to do anything. So dismembering here would delay my activation for a turn, but I think I have to try it. If they flip a land of this, it's basically a huge blowout. Does that mean I attack first? So if they block with this, then if they find a land, yeah, I think I have to play around that. Though, if they find a land and it's white, I'm still screwed. It does let them get a free block basically, but I should watch my clock, I guess. A new Zenith, the fourth. Oh wait, not the fourth one. Of course, they keep shuffling in, but they take 4, and I just pass a turn. Once again, maybe a small optimization by moving the blade, so I don't have to spend mana. And that next turn, if they do have a removal, they will hit this one. All right, a new Nadu, I guess, and hope they don't have a land. But if they're going for it, they probably do. Oh, they don't. Okay. Getting kind of getting my ass beat for not having Grafdigger's Cage in play, I guess. But the blade has been good. So now I guess this is just sketching a plow. Yeah. Now I only have a 2/2 construct. Let's see if we can find another blade. That does let me attack, but it doesn't let me play anything here. Because once again, just not enough mana. I think I have to start activating my eyes, or I'm never getting anywhere. I think I have to do Devourer. It's just much better against the fact that they have to plow. If we get a Bloodscale here first, they'll just plow it. Now they use the plow since they want to get the game over with. That makes sense. So I need them to break here for like 1 or 2 turns, and I might be in good shape. They do have the Euro though, so I might just not be in good shape. If they Euro here and find a land to activate Bristly Bill, then we might just lose here and get really punished for getting the Devourer instead of something more impactful. Well, it's a land. I have to tap this for this. And I have to get rid of the bill. Else I'm just jump blocking that. I'm keeping the blade in hand in case I draw a Flash Raker. Just for another trigger. Alright, so they had a plow. Now they're going to start drawing multiple cards a turn. And I don't really have much room to breathe here anymore, since I'm also hurting on my Ancient Tomb still. Another Zenith, alright. And a Ponder. That's probably not good for me. They didn't shuffle, so I have to expect that's a that is a consign to memory. But I don't think I have a choice other than just going for Bloodscale here. So, opponent, do you have it? Yeah, that had to be consigned. All right. Good games, opponent. I'll catch you folks in the next round. Right, on the draw again. Let's see if we have a great hand this time. This is not what I would characterize as a great hand. There's some merit here in having the blade and the devourer as well as an Eye of Ugin and good mana. I'm actually happy with this hand if I find Total Share or a Bloodscale. That's still weak against removal. I'll mulligan this. I'm not too sure about that one. I think it's close. This one is close to greatness, but I think we have to mulligan it as well. And now I'm just keeping almost anything I find. Yeah, definitely keeping this. So we can keep Blade, Bloodscale, Devour to find land, and then this, or we keep Ancient Tomb, Eye, Flash Raker, Mike Spawn. And then I think still Devour. So either we keep the combo, or we keep the non-combo cards. I think those are the choices. I think because we don't have any early green, that I kind of want to just go for the non-combo cards here. So I'll bottom the Blade and the Bloodscale and see where this gets us. And I'll show my opponent that I'm not just a oops all spells deck mulliganing, and they can freely go to for whatever they want to go for. But maybe I don't have to keep the Devourer there, but I think it's fine. Okay, Ancient Tomb. So hopefully it's a deck keeping a hand on the strength of what's it called? Chalice. But I'm kind of afraid of getting Blood Moon here. That means I could do something with the Coast LLC command, but I think I'm better off going for the Tot Knots here. There is also a basic forest. I'm gonna go for the basic forest. I don't have green lands yet, and I'm kind of afraid they might want to moon me. So to respect that, I'll do it like this. I don't think basic forest like really helps us against moon, but a bit. At least it lets us have a game. All right, it's the mirror. Now I definitely wish I would have taken the Tot Knots here. But well, you have to make a choice, I guess, and then leading on just Ancient Tomb Go had most likely on Moon Stompy just because Moon Stompy is more popular at the moment. Yeah. What do we get here? Another Ancient Tomb. So we could open this the same as they do, but I think it's better to just go Forest, Flashraker, and hope they don't do anything nasty. I think that's kind of the name of the game here. Also, definitely wished I went for the... I kept the combo hand now. Maybe the Flashraker is just weak enough on the mulligan that I just keep the combo. And maybe also keep the Microspawn over the Devourer. That could have been a better hand to keep. Alright, this is a command, I guess. Puts us in really bad shape. So I kind of hope we top deck both of the combo pieces and they have a fair hand. Sorry for that. Right, let's see. Another basic forest. Yeah, that's definitely not what we wanted to see. Let's play out this Rhino, and maybe if they have a weekend and we top deck a Micro Spawn, we can get something going. But if not, it's looking real dicey for us. At least that's not an eye, but and they haven't paid green mana yet. Oblivion Shower, the old mirror breaker. It used to be. Okay, they get an eye, mine. Right? Or am I looking at this wrong? Oh, I was looking at the wrong pile. Let's just get a Chaffy Maya. That's actually giving me mana, so that's fine. And they micro spawn? No, they don't have mana for that. At least not a kicked one. Maybe they just micro spawn. Oh, yeah. Okay. It's a Flashraker. Definitely in the camp of could have been worse. Not much worse, but could have been worse. Huh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Might as well play the Tomb since that also taps for green, but like this. And I think they win if they just attack with everything, but this might incentivize them to do something else. They are also at 8, by the way, just as a small side note. There's a lot that kills us here. Command. But basically any spell kills us. This does as well if they just attack all, but I'll let them have their fun. So this puts me to 6. They attack with everything. I block the Oblivion Sour and die. So. But I don't think this is giving them any new information. Maybe, yeah, I have a second forest in my deck, but that's not really good information for them. So what did they flip? Bloodscale and Micro Spawn. Yeah. So they definitely know I'm on the combo. And they attack all. Alright. Well, that didn't work. Getting rid of the Vexing Bauble and the Devourers for sure. Devourer's just not good in the mirror. Like, yes, the opening hand thing is still relevant, but... I've noticed when I was playing the mirror and they saw this bunch of them more boarding in like stuff like Neuron, but they definitely get the Wastecape Battle Mage if they're not seeing it. So I really hate Saga into Battle Mage. So probably getting rid of those. I'm fine with Dismember. And other than that, I don't really know. If they do have no rods or something, I could see getting into Battle Mages. And then I just have to play the blade the turn that I go off and not let them Battle Mage it before I do. I guess Maze of It is worth a slot. Is it? It's fine. The mirror is usually not about attacking, but is there anything I could shave for it? No, I think all of these cards are better. Dismember is close, I guess, but especially on the play. Let's see. So we get some selection. We have decent mana, yeah. All right. Let's see what we find here. An eye or a Micro Spawn. Eye would be great. So would Micro Spawn. This is a very close one. Micro Spawn is basically the best card in the mirror, but I don't have great mana for it, and Eye is basically the perfect land for that hand. This hand. I'll go with Micro Spawn. Don't really want to lead on Javimaya, so I'll lead on this. Lotus Petal just in case they have. They do have something like a Vexing Bauble since they're just boarding in cards that they want to replace channels with. And I'll keep the blade in hand for the reason I explained during sideboarding, that I don't want them to Battle Mage it for mostly free. And I'm fine with them like double searing it or something. If they're on Chalice, yeah, that would suck, but... Oh, wait, is that enough? How likely are they to have channels on one still in their deck post board? They really shouldn't. But they did see the blades in game 1. And I would love to use my mana. No, I'll keep it in hand. I'll keep it in hand. They're thinking about my Lotus Petal. They're not. They're probably just doing something else. It says here they lost connection to the game, so maybe they're logging back in. We'll see them get back in a second now, probably. Alright, they're back. Probably just waiting for a second for everything to load again. Thus far, these games definitely haven't been the greatest showing of this combo, but overall, I've been quite happy with it. At least it hasn't felt much worse than alternatives. All right, I'll just pass a turn here, and we'll see what we do next turn. I think there's a decent chance we just go for microspawn and a single wasteland, or if we find a land that doesn't allow us to microspawn kicked early, but maybe guaranteed to turn after, we could. The issue is here that we need petal for either of these plays. So if we find a soul land here, I'll just not seer first. Yeah, I'll not seer here first. And then next turn we'll go for a kicked one. And hope we can... We basically get punished here if they have a great hand. But this is better against the average hand. And let's see. So it's 2 not seers. Bloody sour command. If we take the command and they don't top deck a soul land, I think we win. So that's going to be my plan. Don't top take a soul land. And if they do top take a soul land, we're basically screwed, since they will not seer sour. And that's very good against our hand. Please play a cavern. Alright. That's kind of what we needed. This is a... Oh, it's a dismember. That's fine. Of course, it's better for them than drawing something that is not playable, but that's fine. For us. Definitely gonna be taking a lot of Ancient Tomb damage. Let's just do this nasty thing. And I could consider not wastelanding them, just getting a soul land in place, since that's basically getting more mana advantage than wastelanding them, since getting a soul land is 2 mana for me instead of 0 mana for both of us. But I'd like to hope that they just get mana screwed. Alright, there's a temple. Ooh, Fleshraker is good here. Just play that. To call us. Play a blade. I think before anything else, I'll equip the blade with this mana. Now play another blade. Could equip it here, but it's probably better not to. Yeah. Like I could make this into a 5/5 and have it equipped for next turn, but it costs me the spawn, so I'd rather... Next turn they're just very dead, so... Oh, I guess if they discard my command, that's not necessarily true, but... Right, they did top deck to soul lands. This is just gonna be the not share, I guess. Yeah. That's not ideal, but now we kind of need to draw just any spell that we can cast. That's a spell that we can cast. I think any color spell would have been lethal, at least they'd have to jump block. But with this one, it's definitely very, very lethal, since we're doing infinite damage. Always yield stuff. Always yield. Always yes. And yeah, let's go. could just attack or something, but just clicking this 5 more times is fine with me. They're actually losing more time on this than I am, so since I have everything auto-yielded. Alright. So we haven't really learned anything new. They just had the sour, a couple of Total Sears. We are on the draw now, which would mean I'm higher on this member, but I already had all of those in. Yeah, I don't think there's much to change here. They do seems like a quite fair build. Maybe I want many of it, because the 5/9s or whatever they are, I can at least bounce them off of me if the game goes long and I need to just stabilize for a couple of turns. It's not always what these games are about, but maybe that's just good enough. And I'll just go with a single battle mage. They did see 2 blades. I think if I cut a battle mage, I also have to trim down on blades. I did not see their battle mage, which is interesting. Maybe I'll just go for this. Maybe I should go heavier on the combo. No, I don't like it. If I know they don't have battle mages, I definitely just keep the sagas in and go for more of a combo-centric game plan, but don't really want to get punished by them. I think 2 battle mages is enough to have at least have outs and no rods or the chalices. This loses against their good hands, but is fine in general, I believe, so I'll just keep it. If they just make spawn first or tunnels here first, it's probably great for them. If they don't, well, it could be good for me. Alright, they devour. I'll just have 6 this turn. They didn't take Temple City or Sour. Alright. So it's most likely that they took some action, but that's pretty random. They certainly weren't digging for their One of Soul land, because they already had it. Starting on Cavern, alright. That's most likely not 4 mana on turn 2, which is great for us. I'll just play Temple, and I'm thinking about this battle for a second. Like I said, there's Chansey board in their battle mages, so I think I'll keep it in hand. The argument for playing it is we might get a situation where we want to command. Right, so this is only 3 mana, that's good for us. 3 mana and pass. I could command there, I don't think I'm gonna. Ooh. Okay, so we have kind of the same situation as last game where we get to decide if we delay something or not. I think it's too important to just at least get the first wasteland off that I do want to cast this. We're floating a Eldrazi mana. And I think what I want to do here, if I get a Javimaya, I can play another Microspawn. So I was thinking I can Wasteland them and Total Sear them, but that doesn't quite work. So the question is here, do I now get a second Microspawn and Wasteland with that? By getting Javimaya first and just waste their eye? Javimaya does help them get their mana online as well, which is kind of the issue. Good command and Total Sear gets me a bit more mana into play. Let's get greedy. I like getting greedy today. Because this, if we find like a flash raker or more things, this could really get us good. Okay, let's bottom the eye. Really want to top both of these. Bottom, top, and I'll just go dig some more. I know this is spewing up off a bunch of great cards here, but the out of finding a petal or something else just so good. Okay, we didn't. Bottom the temple for sure. Bottom the blade. Do I want a second dot knots here? No. So they have a monolith they can't cast, a no rod that I don't care about. They do have a dismember and a dot knots here. Am I fine with getting dot knots here? Not really. Them getting an additional card is fine, I think. Does help them dig out of it. I'll just grab the dot knots here. If I get to untap with this, I win, so. So this is going to be the dismember and the dot knots here gone. And if they don't draw out of it, it's great for me. But I think if I leave them with the dot knots here, I for sure lose the microspawn. And then it can get dicey even if they don't like immediately draw out of it. Just then I cannot slam the game closed. Oh, they found Jeff Maya. That means they can Grim Monolith. I guess so. That's not actually that good for them. Depending on what the other card is they found, of course. Since they also had a draw from turn. Okay, Grim. If they found a microspawn as the one other card, then I'm fucked. Sorry for that. We could just win, of course. So I think I will do both. Can I do everything I want here? Probably not. So I can take a microspawn, grab it. You have Maya with that. I think I just do an unkicked microspawn since my turn is already going to be good enough. My plan here is to kind of win through their medium stuff. Does still allow me with enough lands, right? So maybe not. Maybe I cannot battle mage here, or maybe I just screw this turn up. All right, I'll just go for the win and see where it gets me. Oh, this it doesn't even get me to win. Oh, because I made Eldrazi mana, and now I have to tap the eye. Okay, from the game state where we're now, where we screwed stuff up, what do we do? Just like I can cast this. Wait, can we still 1/1? Let's play and equip this. No, we can make this infinitely large, but that doesn't get us there, I think. So I'll just do it like this. will equip this because that means that their no rod doesn't do anything anymore to stop it. That's basically the plan here. All right, I could have just won there. I was afraid that they had interaction, but I know 3 of their 4 cards, so I should have just won. And if I didn't win, I should have at least just blew up 2 of their lands. So don't be like me. Do what I say, not what I do, I guess. Let's see what they do here. Is their own kicked Michael's ball? No, okay. So they're still just extremely dead. Okay, I don't feel that bad about my play now, I guess. Since now we just untap, we adapt the Bloodscale, and we win. Always yield, always yes. Always yield. Do this a bunch of time, activate an eye, and let's see what they do with my Flash Raker. I'll do this until I have 8 mana, so I can activate and still not use my lands for Flash Raker itself. Activate that one. Get a Flash Raker, cast a Flash Raker, and continue doing this thing. Also yield to that. I guess my opponent is enjoying this. Well, I'm fine. I'm fine with this. I'll just keep clicking. Fine with a big Bloodscale. All right, we got to do our thing. Been a couple of matches, I believe, since we. Oh well, against Nadu, we did do the thing. We just didn't win by doing the thing because they countered our Flash Raker and then did more things. But well, that was nice. All right, one last round against my fellow countrymate, Tim van der Lans. Now we need to win this. Very important. Yeah, this hand is certainly a keep. Not the best hand, but nothing wrong with it either. I'm actually not sure what Tim is on. I saw him chatting about some decks recently, but can't memorize what the latest was. Ooh, there's a Saga to start with. And a Lotus Petal. And another Lotus Petal. Interesting. So what's our game plan here? We could just try to go for the fastest possible combo ourselves, which, let me check. So the problem here and with early Basking Bloodscale combo is usually getting the first token to die. So if you have something like a command, it can be very useful to use that to generate some mana to get a token for the equip and then sacrifice the other one. In this case, can we do it quickly? We need Ancient Tomb, Bloodscale, turn to Ancient Tomb, Petal, Bloodscale, turn to Forest, play the Blade with Ancient Tomb, equip it with Ancient Tomb mana, and then we just have 1 green to do something with, so that doesn't work unless we top deck something. Alternatively, we just play the Blade on turn 1. Yeah, what I think I'm gonna do, I'll just play the Blade, run out a Lotus Petal, and I'll just play this. So it does work, but it's all face up now. So I was thinking about only playing this one, but we can do both. So next turn we can use Ancient 2 mana to equip it, then this to make it infinitely large. That does mean we don't get to Eye of Ugin, so we don't get to win through blockers, but we do get to attack with a giant brute skill. So if they were planning on playing, I don't know what they're on. If they're planning on playing a painter or just something like that. Something blue. All right, all right. But at least this means they have to have something, since I will beat them down on turn 2 and play a Totlons here. Bloodstained Mire. Interesting. I'm probably just blanking on something obvious that this deck is. So there's a red, blue saga with petals. It's not Besiege. It's not. Alright, so it's, yeah. What's it called? TES variant, I guess? I don't know. I'm just babbling now. I'm probably dying. One good thing here is that they do have to win, since we do have a kill on board. But we did not find a green land. That's a bit of an issue. That means that even if they don't win here, we also don't win. Though we do have some good stuff going on. But we're very likely just dead here, seeing how much stuff they have. Alright, another gamble. Are we gonna wheel again? With the epic gamble. There's the Besiege. Alright. And a new try. At least this time I have the attack for infinite. But I'm likely still dead. This time they have a black floating, 7 new cards, and a petal still in play, so they got a bit more traction than they had after the first one. Just need them to draw like 6 lands or something. Maybe that works. They may not even have that many lands left. Let's see what they kill me with. I do like that they still have to kill me, but I don't like that they are very likely to. Let's see. Battle, ritual, another gamble. Are we gonna go for another round? Is that what we're doing here? No, we're just killing me. Alright, that worked. right, so the epic gamble. What do we do against that? I think cage trap. I think I like battle mages because it does something. And there's some consideration for something like needle. So I could play that in our Urza Saga, though I don't expect to die from that. Ghost Vacuum is a bit awkward since they should usually be able to put the echo in the graveyard and immediately cast it. Yeah, my current sideboard isn't too heavily focused on anti-combo stuff. So let's think. I kind of want commands just to have this out of a fast kill. Devour is selection, but it's also way too slow. I think Saga is good, but also very slow. So there's some consideration cutting some of those. I have 3 more cuts to make. Once isn't great if you consider that my best cards are Cage, Bubble, Mindbreak Trap, which I can't really find with it. I'll trim on a command. I'll trim it once, and I will. Could get rid of a Myco Spawn, but those are also just quite good. I'll trim one. Maybe this goes vacuum. Maybe it's just often enough that they can't really go for it. Just definitely a mulligan. What do we do here? We have a cage, which could help if they just have an echo hand, which they usually have to keep. And yeah, let's just do it like this. I have a want to hopefully find a soul land. Then I have some stuff I can do. It's not a great hand, but I'll go with it. Not a soul land, but a wastes. Alternatively, I can go for a second Flash Raker and hope to spike, but no, I'll just grab the waste and hope it's good enough. All right, let's see. Opponent is saying they had a bunch of 4-1s in a row, most losing the 5th round by their own mistakes. All right, I hope they make more mistakes this round. I kind of need it, I think. There's a Saga. And now, will I run out the Blood Chief? I don't think I will. I like it to trigger the Flash Raker. To put some pressure on with that. So you can like play this, equip it, sack the token to Flash Raker and hope to get somewhere with that. If I find a green mana, I might consider Bosejuing them. They sometimes have 1 swamp. Did we see a basic last game? Yeah, so they typically don't have one actually. At least not in the list that also have Gamble. So if I find a green, I really want to Boseiju them actually, but we'll see. Since I also kind of need that land. I basically have to bridge the gap to Urza Saga and hope that Vexing Bubble is good enough. Since Vexing Bubble and Grafdigger's Cage combined should be pretty good. Though they can still just cast a bunch of rituals and kill me, but it does help against Besiege and it shuts off Echo, so that does squeeze them a bit. I was thinking, what is my best draw? Like maybe a pedal, but not even really, since this still doesn't let me use my Boseiju. Their own Saga. I guess I would like a Wastegate Battle Mage now. just get me out of trouble. But since I drew this, I'll just play that one, and I'll have to settle for a Flash Raker. I think I have to pressure them. Yeah, on turn 1 with the cage, I feel kind of fine. Turn 2 rolls around the brainstorm, I'm feeling not that great anymore. And now with turn 3, without having any additional interaction, yeah, I think it's I'm being too slow. There's the Besiege. So it's just the Song of Creation. Yeah, Song. Now they're very likely to win. But let's see. More LEDs. So they definitely have infinite mana and infinite cards. See if they can win with infinite mana and infinite cards, basically. Yeah, more mana, and well, I guess it may cost them a card, but Chromox Respond Brainstorm. Alright. Just want to see more cards. By the way, I think my mic is picking this up. It's started to storm and rain, hail, I guess. Hail and thunder here quite a bit, so sorry for that. But I think I can probably stop bluffing that I have a my break trap, but yeah, well, why not? Especially the only reason I'm not F6ing is, well, just in case they have to play around that now. Alright, I will F6. There's just no way they don't win here. If they'll echo, I'll cancel my F6. Alright. Draw to seize. Alright, wishing each other a fine weekend, one Dutchie to another, and yeah, that was it. For this league, I must say this is it was probably the roughest league I've had with this deck. So what went wrong? My opponents drew better than me? No. Definitely noticed having forest a couple of times where I needed to dig for colorless sources because I've had too many. Just green sources, but that wasn't too often. Yeah, thinking back, I'm playing more once upon times than I usually do in normal list, but those were fine actually this league. I actually quite like them. Yeah, opponents just doing more powerful things than me, and I couldn't really combine this to effect often enough. Oh, wait, this to effect often enough. Yeah, I still think this list is fine. I wanted to play it more since my early experience with this was that my win rate wasn't that great with it. So I was like, okay, well, let's play some more since I still think it has potential. This is now another league where this is far below what I expect, I guess. This was a 2-3, I believe. That's definitely not great. And this deck, I think I'm now like slightly above 50% win rate with it. in 6-7 leagues or something. I think it's 7 now. That's not a lot of leagues, but also not a lot of winning. So it's mostly 3-2s and 2-3s with like 1 or 2 4-1s. And my results with just my stock Eldrazi lists are definitely much better, even though they've been getting worse over time since MH3 release, since people have been adapting to it, hating it, playing more moons, playing more consigns. That is getting a bit less. I've seen more and more lists with 2 consigns this last week. I'm recording this just ahead of Eternal Weekend, by the way. Maybe nice to talk about a bit. I expect Eldrazi players should actually do well or do pretty good for the, compared to how they've been doing for the last month. People moved up to more and more moons, more and more consigns and harbingers in all the sideboards. I think the trend was like 3.6 consigns in the sideboard of every blue deck, and then 1 or 2 harbingers. Moon getting really popular and really stomping on this deck. But for the last now 2 weekends, we've seen most blue lists moving down to like 2 consigned to memories, sometimes 3, but mostly 2. So that's on average like 1.5 less, or at least more than 1 less on average than in the month before that. And I think that's one of the best cards against Eldrazi, so that definitely improves the blue matchups. Moon is still rough. I can't really do much about that. And as you can see in this league, you just lose to random stuff. Just getting killed by 2 fast 2020s against lands. Not really something I experience too often with this deck, since we do have decent outs to it with the wastelands and stuff. This list only have 1 wasteland and only the 4 microspawns to get it, but usually with Eldrazi I'm quite fine with them going for the 2020 line. But yeah, definitely didn't get there this time. I don't think I would change anything about this list as of now. I'm still skeptical about the Urza Saga, but maybe my experience with getting blown out by stuff like Wastecape Battle Mage has led me to maybe board it out more than I should, and I should just keep it. Maybe it's just not necessary. I still like that sometimes you just win on 1 or 2 mana with this combo. Like you get Wastelanded, your opponent has a Psychic Frog going, they find a second Wasteland, they have a Daze, but you just a 1 mana spell and a 2 mana spell, and you just get infinite mana and giant brute scale. And if you happen to have Eye or Flashraker or Curse like commands, you just win on the spot. Did I get punished for not having a lot of Cavern of Souls? Definitely. There were definitely a couple of times that I think I could have won if I just resolved the creature that I needed to resolve. So something to certainly think about. I tried, like, have more forest, because it's good against Blood Moon. And it allows you to both cast and activate the Bloodscale and cast Once Upon a Time. But maybe this is just going overboard. Maybe it's just keeping the caverns in there and just have 2 forests. That does make Once Upon a Time a bit worse. So maybe at that point go to 2 Onces and another Devourer just to have a bit stronger of a fair game, since I do play 4 Devourers in my normal, let's say, Eldrazi list, so only having 2 is definitely a lot less interaction, but this game, this league, they wouldn't have been very impactful either way. Still like what I'm trying here, though I haven't resolved the Steely Resolve, and one time I boarded in, the couple of times I boarded in Run of Foul, they weren't stellar this league, but I've liked this one quite a bit. Did get punished for not having my Maze of It in my main board a couple of times. Definitely missed my Carcass during sideboarding a couple of times, which I usually have in the sideboard. Yeah, stuff to think about. Well, thank you, folks, for watching this. If you're still sticking around, even though I'm rambling, I should really stop rambling. Thanks for sticking around. I'll be uploading a lot more leaks in the coming time. At least that's the plan. It's been kind of silent, and now record a bunch of stuff. And let's see if you guys enjoy this, or you folks enjoy it. Sorry, definitely let me know. So, cheers.